Finally, I thought of Ali in the middle of the yard, in his elder years, drawing from his victories and his losses. At that moment, I realized something new about the greatness of Ali and how he carried his crown. I realized that he was transferring something to me on that day. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter in me. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter to me. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter to me. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Graduating class, hear me well on this day. When you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education, you would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When I dare to challenge the system that would relegate us to victims and stereotypes with no clear historical backgrounds, no hopes or talents, when I questioned that method of portrayal, a different path opened up for me. The path to my destiny. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. If it's meant for you, I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Now, this is your time. The light of new realization shines on you today. Howard's legacy is not wrapped up in the money that you will make, but the challenges that you choose to confront. As you commit to your past, press on with pride and press on with purpose. God bless you. I love you, Howard. Howard forever.
Hey, 1 2 1 2. It is the Cold Lab. Happy to see y'all, man. I call this the inspiration episode. We're gonna get into a lot. Jay Sheree, Lydia Jade, Tay, Trevor being in a little bit. Imp is not here, but like I said, with the forces combined, we are the collab. And you know, it's been a crazy week. Well, I mean, it's, over here Sunday, but this past week is crazy, man. We lost the king, man. We lost our Black Panther, the shining star, man, Chad. And it definitely hit hard, man, because that was our shining star. That was like, when you look at somebody, it's been a lot of wave of actors that have come through, Like, ever since I really started paying attention to movies, you had Denzel. I mean, you even had like the whole era with Morris Chestnut,
Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs, even a lot of actresses. That whole
We had that little
yeah, we had a good wave. But at one point, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, it kind of got like, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't really no excuse me, no good actors and actresses out there because Neil Long and them, I think we got I'm not gonna say we got tired of them, but I think we did.
I don't think we got tired of them. I just think the directors and producers lost their whatever it was and
right.
Their personality.
I was just watching The Best Man, The Wood, like shows like that.
Right.
Happens to Moesha, things like that. It just happens.
They don't even make movies like that anymore.
And I think they use them too much. I think they use them too much.
Right.
Like even now in life, like they reuse them, reboots, and
right.
Nothing is original anymore. Like it's like totally rebooting.
That's right, Jasmine.
Girl, I'm saying. Listen, because they not. But that was what I was saying. I was talking to a friend of mine. And they were saying when they were talking about doing Black Panther 2, and they were talking about having Beyonce in it. And I was telling them, they were like, oh, people hating. I said, it's not people hating, but I just feel like she's already up here. And there are plenty of other African American actors that are trying to come in.
So, she's not her lane. Like,
right, exactly. Like, that's not her lane. Let's let other people, there are plenty of other Black actresses that are trying to kick in the door, and we keep using the same ones, and we're not giving anybody a chance.
We can't play young forever.
The sounding voice here to say she's not 100% an actor anyway. Like I love that she could sing really good. Like Beehive. I'm not saying that she is not. Okay, she's not. I'm not saying that she is not 100% in everything that she does, but acting.
Yeah, that ain't the move right there. Acting.
So I think
that to me.
That's just what happens with a lot of actors. Like they kept using the same actresses over and over and over and over again. And there are actually some really talented young actors and actresses that want to get there, but for some reason they just can't. Like they just don't get that opportunity.
It's already created with the people that have been in the business all this time. They don't want to stop them their money, and I understand that. Listen, I'm not saying that they are not due. There's not like listen. I'm not saying that, but there are Howard University, HBCU graduates that for purpose to break out. You know what I'm saying? Still using the same people. That's what happened with that Netflix movie with Neil Long. I was not a fan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just that I don't know. I mean, like I said, I love Neil Long, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's just what, but I say all that to say but then when Chad came through, and then Michael B. Jordan, and it was like it's a lot of actors and actresses that came through. But Chadwick, he was, like I said, I just call him our shining star. You know what I mean? Because he was, and what I'm inspired by is, when I found out there was he found out 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
You can tell, now you can look at it like, man, that's why he chose that role. That's why he chose that role, because he knew he took his path, even though, he was diagnosed, he took his path seriously. He knew that it was certain roles he was on borrowed time, and it was only certain roles that he he should take to make it, so that way his legacy, if he doesn't do like a whole bunch of movies, when you play James Brown, when you play Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, he played some.
You know what's crazy though? Not to interrupt, but imagine the pressure being a black. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that was a movement. You know what I'm saying? Like people was like walk around saluting people. Like it used to be a handshake. Now it was like
Right.
Like a lot of pressure to be so great, and then to know now at this after he was going through all of that.
Right. You
And
imagine how his days were?
Right.
But the fact that he had a team,
he knew he was going through that.
A team so solid that they kept that a secret,
Right.
I'm pretty sure he probably had people signing NDAs, and if he didn't, they were loyal. Like I just tweeted that I want to circle that solid.
Yeah, you got it's important. It's important, and I mean, you think about the Black Panther movie, how it inspired young kids. It inspired me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And on top of that, it made $1 billion.
Do you think
$1 billion?
Castmates knew? Like, I feel like.
He said, "Do we think what?"
Like his castmates, like the people he was on cast with. Like, do you think, especially like the Black Panther cast? I feel like that was a strenuous role.
I think they knew. I think
he probably knew. I think they knew, but once again, like the solidarity, or I guess I'm sure he probably was like, or I don't even think like everybody knew. Like I think he probably had like one or two whoever he was close with. They probably knew, but they weren't going to. That's his information. That's what he's going through.
Right. They have to gain from it. That's the people that you need. Like they have nothing to gain from telling me that you are struggling with stage whatever cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like you can. The sad part, you can't have as being famous. I think the downside of being famous is that you cannot have too many people in your life, because the more people, the more that people are looking to gain. Like the only reason I just remember, and this stuck with me so bad with Just with the Mess. That bothered me so bad. And I remember, B. Scott, who is a blogger, and she had it on there like, B. Scott said this about Chadwick Boseman. This was months ago. About him being really thin, and his neck was like really thin. And I just remember saying like,
so Just with the Mess has said this about.
So what happened was she basically, how she come with the mess and she started joning people out or talking shit about people. She basically did that. But I don't know if you saw that the Shade Room posted a fan calling her out on this, like letting her know, like, you was the same one who was talking shit, Cash Money, about him when he was losing weight, and she legit apologized. She said she's retiring with the mess. She's no longer from the mess. We'll see how long that lasts, because girl, you was getting a coin for that. So I don't know, but I guess that just really shows that you really don't know what people are going through.
Exactly.
I understand that was just roll, but damn.
That was a conversation we had on another courtroom podcast about, a collab podcast about, selling your soul. Because you don't know what this man going through. You looking for a laugh. You looking for likes.
Right.
Like you have a lot of evil people out here. Like you don't know what this man going through. You don't know what.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I never really liked her. I've never liked her. I've never found her funny. I've never found her music in any way, shape, or form. Like I've never found anything.
Is this the comedian?
Yeah, her.
Not just hilarious. Just hilarious?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never found her funny. But my thing is with her saying so, like she always got something to say about somebody, like as if her stuff don't stink. And I get that's how you making your money, but at a certain point, like you have to stop and think before you speak. And you doing all of this extra stuff just with some likes and all this other stuff. Now you was talking all of this mess, and I do remember I was reading an article, and after he did the post, and you could tell he had a significant amount of weight loss. They said that like his words were about Jackie Robinson, but his appearance, like it overshadowed the point of the post. And that's just us as a culture. We are so fixated on what people look like, how you look, whatever the case may be, and we so quick to judge and be like, what's going on with that one? They looking like they on that stuff, and you not even listening to what this man said. This man was making a post. I believe it was about like Jackie Robinson. It was on Jackie Robinson's birthday or anniversary or something like that. That post had nothing to do with what he looked like.
time to, even in his, state, he took, not worried about what anybody would think about how he looked. He know how he looked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know how you look. You know your difference in appearance because you look at yourself in the mirror every day. And you're dealing with it.
Right.
You know, like that takes bravery.
Yeah,
to put yourself out there like that. You know what I'm saying? And then here she comes trying to be goofy, trying to be funny.
Right.
And like you don't know how much people take pride in their appearance. And like this man I've been, like you said, Jackie Robinson, he has played all these people. And then to see Chadwick Boseman as this shell of a man, no disrespect. But the pictures that's coming out now is like he was a shell. Like he was
I think like the fact of like when I saw because it popped up on my phone as a notification from TMZ. And when I saw the name and it was like, like cancer, I was just like, okay, this must be like a hoax or like a mistaken identity or something. Yeah, I was like, this got to be a hoax or mistaken identity because just a couple of days they had did the thing with Usain Bolt and they posted Kevin Hart. So I was just like, okay, well maybe this is another mistake or whatever the case may be. So then, but I went and I clicked and I read the article and I was like, cancer? Well, when did he have cancer? Like, when did this even come about? Like, who even? Like, when did he announce this? What and did I miss it or something like that? And when I went on like Instagram and Shade Room and all that, and I saw like, they talking about like Chadwick Boseman. I was just like, what? Right. I was like, and it's just certain people like it may sound I may sound naive or dumb, but it's just to me certain people like just don't die. Like it sounds dumb, it sounds stupid. Like I know it does, but to me, it's like, just like that. Like you.
But he won't. But he
really unfair. You know what I'm saying? Like crime. Like you think about it. It was 43. You know what I'm saying?
43. That's young. 43 is young.
And dying of colon cancer and struggle this long, like it's a lot of people in this world. I'm not the judge or the juror. I'm not. But it's a lot of people in this world that ain't doing nothing.
Right.
That ain't living, ain't doing nothing, ain't saying nothing.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, this is how I look at it. It's some people, you gotta understand, when we look at death, people look at death, we look at it as a loss because they're not here. You know what I'm saying? But my man ain't suffering anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that, even, I remember when my father passed away, obviously you're sad and stuff like that. And you be like, well, man, he ain't suffering anymore. Like, like it's just one of them things where we have to look at death differently, even though we want people to be here. Also, you got to take it as a lesson. Like you got to understand how much time that we really have here to do what we got to do and then be out.
It's a silver line.
Yeah, it ain't a lot of time. It's not a lot of time in this world. Like you got a lot of things that you want to do before you leave, and he took advantage of that time.
He did. He literally did. And I was wondering, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel like it was like movie after movie after movie. Yeah. I was like, dang, wasn't he just in a movie? Like, it was like one right after the other.
He did another one too. He played a cop. I forgot he played a cop of some. There's one we're missing.
21 Day or 21 Bridge.
Yeah.
Bridges, right.
Yeah.
But even like you look back at him from, Black Panther, you see his build, and you continue to look at his legacy as, through. You start to look at his hands, and if you've ever had anybody go through cancer or anything like my grandmother, how I knew my grandma was sick, she was taking chemo and nobody knew she was going through chemo, but her hands got really frail, and all we saw was knuckles. Back in pictures, I'm like looking at his neck and looking at him, like I don't want to be a conspiracist, but it's like You don't know people's struggles. Like, I swear. Like, I don't.
So I do want to say, like, when we find out, like, I know a lot of the posts have been like, you know, gone too soon, and he still had like more to do and all that stuff. But I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I'm looking at like all of the posts, and then I even also looking at look at the movies that he did do and the shows that he was in and things like that, and I'm like, well, maybe he did do his work. Like,
Hey, that's what I'm saying.